Welcome to the Rock is George podcast. I'm your host, George Dionne, and this is episode 151. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit like, follow, or subscribe on the platform that you're listening to us on. You can also check out my work at theloudest.com on the planet, knac.com, for exclusive hard rock and heavy metal interviews, live show coverage, and more. My guest for this episode is vocalist ERIK MARTENSSON of the Swedish melodic rock act Eclipse. Eclipse released their 10th studio album, Megalomanium, on September 1st through Frontiers Music. Another fantastic album. I last spoke with ERIK on the Rock is George podcast for episode 18 back in October of 2021 when they released Wired. And I was excited to be able to speak with him again about Megalomanium and more. So here's ERIK MARTENSSON of Eclipse. Today, we're going to talk about the 10th studio album by Eclipse called Megalomanium. It comes out September 1st through Frontiers Music. Let's start with the album's title. It's a bit of a mouthful. What does it mean?
I think it's, I think after 2 years of constant touring, and I think we were a big megalomania. We felt that. We felt we were a bit bigger and better than we used to do, and I think in the title it fits the era of the band, and I think it also fits because we tried a lot of new stuff which we previously probably didn't have the balls to do. So we tried some new stuff, and some of it worked out really well, I think. So I think it's a word that sums up the last couple of years, I think.
Sounds appropriate to me. You talk about trying new stuff. One of your singles that you have out ahead of the album is Got It. You describe it as Eclipse meets Rick Springfield meets Ramones. You certainly haven't done anything like the Ramones that I can recall.
No, absolutely not. It's got some, I like the early Springfield, the what's called as Working Class Dog record with Rick Springfield. I really like that record. It has a little punk vibe, and I really like that, and it got some skate punk in there as well, which I really like. So it's a mixture, and it's got Eclipse, of course.
What inspired the lyrics on Got It?
I think it started with just when I usually make a song, when we do a pre-production demo, we do like a simple recording of a song, and I just sing like nonsense lyrics. And most of those words came like I didn't think about what I was singing. I was just doing it. It was, I don't want to stop. I don't want to go. It just came out, and it's like then you have to take a step back, listen to what happened, and then I try to make some sense out of it, and then I make a proper lyric out of it, and it's some kind of relationship drama going on, and it sounds cool. That's the most important thing.
Is that how you typically prefer to write, to have the music first and then set the lyrics to the music that you have available?
Yeah, I always do these nonsense lyrics when I just to try out the different melodies, it's actually a really good thing because the voice is an instrument as well, so you get the right sound for every word, even if it doesn't make any sense when you listen to it in the beginning. But the words, the key words are actually often, that's what we end up using for lyrics. But then of course I got to make a proper lyric and around it. But it's like a subconscious thing happening, which when you don't really think about it, you just do it, and that's why those words that comes out are often the most that hits you hardest, and it fits the song often really well. I know a lot of people do this, and it's not just only Swedish writers. It's like even if you have a native English speaking person, they still do these things, and it actually works really well.
You mentioned Got It being kind of inspired by relationships. Certainly your other two singles, The Hardest Part Is Losing You and Hearts Collide, are also about relationships, which is kind of something that everybody can relate to. And you write a lot about relationships for sure.
Yeah, we never writing a song about titties and beer and and you know, driving a truck. A lot of bands do, and it's like it's all good. People can write whatever they want, but it's not for us. You know, I want to have some. You know, it's got to have at least some deeper meaning or something. It's got to move something inside of you.
Do you have a fourth single that's planned when the album comes out on September 1st?
Yeah, sure. It's going to be nowadays it's streaming, so it's called a focus track. So I think the upcoming focus track is going to be Anthem.
Okay. Do you have a music video to go along with it, or is it just going to be like you know, the lyrical video or visual?
No, it's going to be a proper video.
Okay.
It's already. I haven't seen it. We shot it last Saturday, and I haven't seen a single thing. And it's you know, I guess if you ask every musician, I think most of them will say they hate making videos because you feel ridiculous doing the video, staying there and like miming and like play for doing the air guitar thing. And it's but it's, you know, it works. Somehow it works out in the end.
I wouldn't have thought that video would still reach people, but I guess with the advent of YouTube, it's sort of hit or miss.
Yeah, it's ads. You know, when it's finished and done, it's, you know, it's when everything is, when the video is done, it hopefully it adds something extra, an extra dimension to the song. So it should be 1 + 1 = 3. That's the whole meaning of a video. But sometimes 1 + 1 is like 0.5. We've done those videos too.
I like that phrase, 0.5. Yeah. That's awesome. You got a big co-headlining tour coming up with H.E.A.T. This is like melodic rock dream, I think, for fans. How did this tour package come together behind the scenes?
Well, the behind the scenes is that we were offered doing headline shows together with other bands, and H.E.A.T was the same thing for them. And so they were doing some dates with other bands, and I gave a call to Jonah, the keyboard player, and I said, this is ridiculous. Why are we touring with other bands when we are the bands that should tour together? And he was like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. So that's how it happened. It was like we've been talking about it for so many years, and it's like we never made it happen, and now finally it happened. Let's see what happens. It's the first time.
Oh, it's the first time ever. Okay.
Yeah, we played the same festivals and stuff before, but not like dual headline, nightliner, proper tour. Never.
You guys are taking the tour through Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. Is there a chance that the tour will go beyond that as time progresses?
Hopefully. No, let's see how it works. We have almost 3 weeks together, and see if we don't kill each other by the end of the tour. We'd probably do it more. And if people show up, some of the dates are already sold out. So for like not, but more like for the audience, it looks like it's going to be a good thing.
Eclipse has been touring relentlessly since the beginning of the year. You're kind of making up for lost times when you couldn't tour during the lockdowns.
It's a privilege because, you know, we are not 20 anymore, and we are growing for every day or every year. We're growing as a band. It's like there's more people coming to the show, more people listening to our music, more like albums sold, which is it's fantastic. You know, most people who reach my age, it's like the career is like going downwards, and you try to make up, try to be what you used to be. And we are still evolving as a band. I think we make better and better records as well.
I'd have to agree with that. You know what? I don't think I've ever read a bad review of any of your records. They seem pretty consistent. You guys kind of lock in your particular sound. You took a couple chances on this new one, but I mean, I think it's been well received so far anyway.
Yeah, but we work really hard to make good records. It's a lot of work, and I hate when I was a kid, when I bought records, there were 2 good songs and the rest was just real fillers. And you spend a lot of money on them, and it's like you come home and you have 1-2 good songs, and the single was the only good song, and the rest was shit. And like I don't want to be the person who released those records. I want to make sure, like, you know, every song is not going to be the best song of the record, of course, but it's they should have a high standard.
I saw that you guys opened up for U.S. heavyweights MOTLEY CRUE and UK heavyweights DEF LEPPARD on their tour through Prague. What was that experience like?
It was fantastic. The audience really. It's always fun to play those opening up gigs because you never know if the audience is going to accept. I've been to concerts where people are throwing things at the opening up band, like people are boo, go away. But I think we played like My Chemical Romance, which I thought it was going to be a complete disaster. It turned out to be one of the best gigs I've ever done. They were like, took us in with open arms. It was fantastic. And same was, Def Leppard, MOTLEY CRUE fans, they really liked it. And it was really good shows. We had Scorpions. We've been opening up for, Aerosmith and a lot of bands. It's exciting to open up for your heroes.
When you're on an opening slot with your heroes, do they pop in to say hi, or is it all business and you just got to do what you got to do?
It's business. They played like Aerosmith. Everyone came with different limousines, and you never see them like. or like Scorpions, they came in with a helicopter just before the gig, and they just went off stage and left in a helicopter.
Wow, I wouldn't have thought they'd have the budget for that these days.
Yeah, Scorpions they still do good big gigs. Yeah,
absolutely.
But we actually played with them this summer in Spain, and there was no helicopter, and they all said hello. We were invited to the after party and stuff, so it was good. So they're not always like that.
I know you guys played the Monsters of Rock cruise earlier this year over in the States. What are the chances of getting Eclipse here on a little more than just a rock cruise?
We are working on it. We have been working on it. It's been tough since the pandemic with visas. We had to cancel a couple of festival gigs because we couldn't get visas at all. There was like no way of even getting the interview at the embassy. And also the prices have gone up drastically. It's so expensive now to get the visas. It takes like 6 months to get it done or more. It's just unbelievable amount of time, and it costs so much money. So we got to have a proper something big. We can just pop over for a couple of gigs. We're gonna lose like $20,000 just to do a couple of gigs. So it's like it's really pricey. So that is a big challenge. If you can, Europe, you can just take a flight and do the gig and get back the day after. It's super simple. But we are trying, believe me.
With the release of your latest album, next year marks the 20th year you've been with Frontiers Music. It's kind of a long relationship to be with a label. I think someone like Prince would be like, you guys are crazy, but obviously there's something about Frontiers Music and Eclipse that works for the last 20 years.
Yeah, Frontiers are the label that when no other label would release this kind of music, they had the balls to release it, and it worked out for them. They took a big chance by promoting these kinds of bands when no one else was doing it, and it paid off for them in the end, because now they are like a label to they have really good bands and artists there, and it's quite a journey they made. When they signed us, we were nothing. We were absolutely nothing, and they had the faith to sign the band and give us a chance.
You weren't even the same band you are today, because your first album with Frontiers, Second to None, doesn't really sound anything like what you're doing today.
No, it's terrible. It's a crap record. There's a reason why we didn't make it big on that record.
Everybody's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, it's like an official demo. We wrote it ourselves, produced it ourselves. I mixed it, like the first time I mixed a record ever. So it's like an official demo. We were good musicians. We had good ideas, but we probably needed a producer telling us, skip that part, do this, do that. I don't know. That's what we needed. We didn't have that.
Kind of a serious question here. I saw that Eclipse has reached 100 million streams. How does Eclipse benefit from that monetarily?
Well, streaming doesn't pay as much as it should at all, but you can look at it. It's like all the listeners on streaming are not record buyers either. So you get some money for people who wouldn't buy the record, of course, and people find out about the band and maybe they buy a concert ticket instead, or buy a T-shirt, hopefully. And also, with previously with like records, like you got all the money at once, because you had a couple of months where all records sold, and then it drops, because that's how physical sales do work. You sell everything the first month more or less, and the second month a little, and then it just drops significantly. So you get all the money at once. But with streaming, you get a little over time, all the time. So at the end of the day, when I'm old and retired, I don't know, maybe it's the money will be the same, but you don't get it. It's not that I can go and buy a Corvette or something when after a record, but it's let's see. It is what it is as well. There's nothing to do about it. We're in the hands of big tech.
It's an advertisement for you. That's what it is.
It is. The gigs is the economy, more or less. Yeah.
And you do have physical product that you have an album. A lot of people are doing albums lately. I got the one back here, you got the one back behind you. So obviously there's the renewed interest in vinyl helps you just a little bit.
The vinyl has really exploded. It was like 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was really happening in Sweden, but now all of Europe are starting to buy vinyls, and I think it's spreading, and it's fantastic. And I really like that, because when you hold in the actual vinyl, it's something different than the streaming thing. It sounds the same. It's a special thing, especially as a musician, to have a proper record.
I'm with you with the whole vinyl thing. I bought a vinyl player 2 years ago. Now I got over 600 vinyls, but I can't take them with me, so that's why I use the streaming.
Yeah, sure. Best of both worlds, of course. I got like 600-800 vinyls and a lot of CDs, and I love that. But of course, the most of music is streaming, of course, something, because it's convenient. And
in 2022, you released an album with NORDIC Union featuring Ronnie Atkins, yourself. Has that run its course, or is there going to be future music with that?
Let's see. Let's see. Ronnie's health hasn't been the best. Well, now it's good, because he's got lung cancer. He had it, but now he's been treated for it, and he's doing really well. And he's been doing some solo records. He's just releasing a new solo record coming up as well. So let's see what happens. No, I would love to make another one. It's really a privilege to work with Ronnie Atkins.
Or what he's going through, and kind of the output that he's done, and some of the
songs. And even if he's been in this business for such a long time, he really gives everything. He really cares about the music. He never had that "it's good enough" attitude. Like, I'm a rock star, it's good enough. And he doesn't have that at all. He has the kind of the work ethic the same as me. Like, it's important that the music is good.
I know a project that a lot of people really love is W.E.T, with you, Jeff Scott Soto, and Robert Saul. People are clamoring for a follow-up to Retransmission, which was a fantastic album. So when can we expect the follow-up to that album?
Pretty soon. We are recording it right now. Excellent. So I've been tracking rhythm guitarists today for that album. All the songs are done. Most of the vocals are done. So it's just we got to replace some of the stuff that's been recorded, like the pre-production stuff. Is going to be the process for me when we do this stuff. It's like we do like a proper production, and then we just change what needs to be changed from the demo. Which the demos can sometimes sound just as good as the record, because I have a studio. That's what I do. So it's hard to beat the demo.
Well, you're a pretty productive guy when it comes to writing and composing music. Have you ever thought of an ERIK MARTENSSON solo album?
No, not really. I think the world has enough of ERIK MARTENSSON music. I don't want to bother listeners with another one. But who knows? When I'm, like every singer do their Tom Petty record. All the rock singers always do their Tom Petty record. I've been avoiding it so far, and I'll do my best to make it stay that way.
Does Frontiers ask you to work on other projects outside of W.E.T and Eclipse? I know that there's guys within the label that work on multiple different projects.
Yeah, sure. I'm a bit picky with the projects. I'm pretty good. I love working with Jeff, and love working with Ronnie Atkins. But I think for every project you have, it's like it takes time and it takes efforts. And I think my focus is Eclipse, of course, and that's what I need to have my priorities right. And I mix a lot of records, so that's what I do full time. That's what I for different labels and different everything from like melodic metal to symphonic to country music. I do everything, mix and master. That's what I like. That's my day job.
Well, I like the way that the Remedy album came out. I was listening to that not too long ago. That came out fantastic.
Cool. I had a chat with the guitar player today, just a couple of hours ago, and yeah, they are starting to record another one.
Great, great. I mean, I think they need a little more publicity, and I think more ears can get on them. They're a fantastic band.
Yeah, sure. They're taking it really seriously, and they like hope to do a lot of gigs. I think that's what it's happening. They have the songs, they have the musicians, so they should just keep on working it. I think it will turn out really well for them.
Things have turned out really well for you, Erik. Those are all the questions I have for you today. The new Eclipse album comes out September 1st, Megalomanium on Frontiers Music. Another fantastic album by Eclipse. Thanks for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Once again, I want to thank ERIK MARTENSSON of Eclipse for coming on the Rock is George podcast. Be sure to check out their latest album, Megalomanium, out now through Frontiers Music. Head over to your favorite music streaming platform. Take a listen to the album. If you like what you hear, buy a physical copy. Support the artist. For all things Eclipse, head over to their official website, eclipsemania.com. I also want to thank John Freeman of Freeman Promotions and Frontiers Music for making this interview possible. You've been great. I've been George Dionne. Discover your next favorite artist on the Rock is George podcast.